La 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 la, wait till I get my money right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascend. I have SHX up on the screen here. Stronghold. I don't own any. This was a request from my Quantum Circle group. Figured I'd go ahead and post it on X. Try to get this out to as many of you as I can. Now I know a bunch of you are screaming that is not when the price started here for SHX. It's older than that, yada yada yada. Well, the first major exchange was in November of 2021, so I am not taking any price action prior to that point. You couldn't even really trade it. So we're taking it going from there, and we're going to look mostly at fibs here. This is a little bit of a murkier count here on the weekly time frame, so we're going to take a stab at it anyway. My best analysis here is that right now we're in the middle of a fourth wave for SHX on the weekly, and we're waiting for a wave 5 here to get it kicked off, and that should coincide with what we're waiting on for alt season here. So this thing, I mean, it's pretty much been up, and up since June of 2023. You love to see that. Within each of these waves, we can count out real quick so you see my thought process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for that guy. And then right here, this is where it starts to get a little murky, but I've been looking at it for a while. And my thought is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We came down with wave 4 and tested wave 1 perfectly before it bounced. So that is what I think is happening is right now. This is in the middle of a wave 4. Again, moving a little bit different from the rest of the market. It did get a little bit more of a pop. This has not been around yet for an alt season, but we can see here that during the Trump pump over these few weeks, this thing went, almost 10x, 9.7x. So can get going a little bit. We're waiting for this fourth wave to finish, like I said, for a macro 5. So regardless of these counts, what's most important are going to be the fib levels. And so before I get into that, guys, just want to throw out, join the Quantum Circle, entries, exits, strategy, emotional, mental clarity, 2 daily macro videos, a whole lot more. Link to that can be found in my bio. All right, hopping into this now. First thing I want to do is I want to draw fibs from the entirety of the chart, going back here to early 2022, late 2021. Pull it down there, and you can see that on this third wave, or this has acted pretty technically so far. That first wave right here at the 1618 before coming down and finding resistance at the 309. This third wave ran up and closed right at the 3618 and right now settling down. So we haven't technically closed this range out here up there around 3.8 cents, but it does look like that should get exceeded here on the next run up. So keeping that in mind, the next thing we want to do is look at this drawdown here now on wave 1 to wave 2 and project out the extensions. So I do that and we look, that hit perfectly on the 2618 of this range, okay? And again, if we draw this over it, you're going to see confluence there. Right up in that, what's going on here? Right up in that level up there. The 3618, 2618, both right there, right? Okay. So we're seeing on here, we still are yet to close out this 5.5 cent level. That's definitely something we're going to have to keep in mind moving forward here. Now, what we want to do is across the board, we've kind of been looking at this last local high in January to the, that drawdown that happened April, June, depending on the asset. This is already broken out of that high. So we'll have a lot more clarity here once this wave 3 to 4 settles down. But one other way we can look at this is, all right, so we took that range. Let's take one range up here. Let's pull that down. Not seeing any confluence with that 4236, but we do see a full extension up here around that 7 cent level. So let's go ahead. Let's plug that. And that's what we want to do, guys. We got to keep moving as the math moves here, because say that fourth wave ended right now. Well, look, a 3618 of this drawdown, there's confluence with that 7.2 cent level of a broader range, right? And so that's how we work through this. But a lot of these assets right now, we're looking at, 10Xs. SHX has already been running a little bit. So let's wait for this wave 4 to come down before we say, but I'm saying like we're looking at a 7-8 cents here for SHX, which, where we're at right now, only like a 4x, 4x away. So not that much in the grand scheme of things. I'm definitely willing to go higher on targets for this, but I do want to see these areas close out because we do have a lot of different fib ranges pointing us in this direction up here. Okay, so I will touch back base with you guys on that, but you see all these different ranges, we're reaching full extensions here. So did it just get an earlier start than the rest? That's very possible. But there's other situations too that we can talk about if these extensions are met. There's other ways you can draw fibs out. We could talk about like a 20-cent level. All right, that would be very plausible too, and that puts us in that 10x range, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll say our primary is going to be up here, you know, right around 8 cents. That's going to be my my conservative target here, and we'll put the blow off up there at 22 cents. Again, waves 3 and 4, or wave 3 already looks to be done. Wave 4 wrapping up, could come in a little bit lower, but all we're really interested right now for SHX is that final blow off. We're saying conservatively 8 cents. You know, but in a blow off scenario, could definitely see that 22-cent level, and I will keep you guys in the loop as we get rolling. So that's what I got for you here. Like I said, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, portfolio access, macro analysis, 2 videos a day, a Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA just like me. If not, super appreciative you're here. If you could just follow, like, repost. I want to get this out to as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. I'll catch you in a bit.